There are many stereotypes that people think of when it comes to rock musicians: sex, drugs, booze, goals of reaching fame. But they will be surprised a lot of them live a double life. And for musicians like Conor Logan, frontman for the Los Angeles rock band The Logan, they are showing that the same people who are rocking out on stage every night are the ones you least expect.
So for years I've been doing IT work, and most recently at Creative Artists Agency and now at Legendary Pictures. But a few years ago I started to get kind of bored with that career and I got interested in Oriental medicine, started going to school for that, and I was working full-time, school full-time, and then became a father on top of that, and finished that, passed the boards, and now I'm a licensed acupuncturist.
Ever since high school, Logan was always known as a Renaissance man. On top of being a dedicated husband and father, an accomplished musician who has traveled all over the world, an IT executive for Legendary Entertainment, he is also an acupuncturist and herbalist who just opened his own practice, Sunset Health and Wellness, in Los Angeles, California. He got into Oriental medicine thanks to music.
Through my 20s, I was doing IT work, or I was playing in bands and on the road touring, and I would just, I'd be playing a show every night and wrecking my body, and so I would find acupuncturists along the way, and a couple times a month I would just go in and kind of get a tune-up and make sure my arms felt good, and my legs and my back and everything felt okay, and my wrists most importantly, and a few times along the way, different practitioners would say, like, you seem like you have a mind for this. You ever think about going to school for this? And I'm like, nah, I'm going to be a rock star. I've got better things to do, or something like that. But it started to get in the back of my head. And then, when I turned 30, so about 5 years ago, I started really exploring it. And then I just said, hey, I'm going to go take a few classes. And then I went into a couple classes, and I was just down the rabbit hole. I was just like, this is
Even
amazing.
though juggling his contrasting occupations can be stressful sometimes, he finds the challenges rewarding.
I usually don't like situations where I can't control my own destiny, and someone has to open the door for me, that I can walk through it. I'm like, no, I'd like to kick that door down if I can, and but that was a door that could not be kicked. And now I'm ready to launch this business and be in medicine, and I have a nice problem. I'll put it that way. I'm very appreciative of the predicament I'm in.
Despite everything that's going on in his life, he is still a very active musician. He just released an album with his band The Logan in 2014 entitled Dirty. Yet he still finds some aspects of the musician life a little more difficult now with all the roles he has to handle.
But music will always be there. I actually am starting to kind of turn that tide back, and I got the itch to be on the road, and I have a plan for later this year with the new project I'm working on to go up to Seattle and record a record there and then tour down to LA. I mean, it's something much smaller than in 2002 and 2003, out of 600 days, I think I was on the road for almost 300 of them or something like that. I don't know if I'll ever do that again, but I definitely really appreciate seeing the countryside as a musician, and those journeys from town to town and things like that. Really, there's a certain feel to that you can't get from a family vacation or something like that, or a business trip or anything like that. So,
Despite having so many fulfilling roles in his life, Logan said that there's nothing like being on stage and making music.
I try to bring all my parts of my life together, so a little bit of my medicine side creeps into my work at Legendary, and once a week I lead the company in a guided meditation. And so I bring a little bit of the holistic side of myself into the corporate world. And that's a little bit of a performance, and that's enjoyable like that, but it's nothing like, four guys and some fury on stage, kicking ass and everyone, being responsible for everyone's good time for 45 minutes, and I take that very seriously.